Welcome back, everybody, to the Brothers in the Deep End podcast, season 2. Let's get it started, man. Before we get into today's episode, just want to give everyone a special shout out, special little love, all the love for, everyone who's been tuning in. And it's really important to us that you guys keep tuning in, because without you guys, we ain't nothing, man. And thank you for the feedback you guys been giving us. It's been honestly an honor. It means the world to us. In our lives, things really never go as planned. For anyone who's listening, I think that's important for everyone to understand. You know what I'm saying? We all have that one dream we wish to fulfill, and we will do whatever it takes to reach that dream sometimes, regardless of what it costs. It's about never giving up and being able to pivot towards other opportunities to live this lifestyle that you want to live and make that dream come into fruition. Though things may not never seem like they're going to work in the beginning, there's this one saying that everyone says, right? Mm-hmm. Patience is a virtue. Mm-hmm. And I mean that shit. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows patience is a virtue. You know what I'm saying? So today, we have a special guest today. Collegiate football athlete and personal trainer Nell is here to tell us about his story and his journey along this road. I think one thing why we brought him on today is because he made a lot of sacrifice to get here. And I feel like when we pivot towards a lot of these other opportunities in life, we have to make sacrifices to make our dreams become a reality. And that's why we have him on today. So thank you for coming today, Nell. And I appreciate you for tuning in. So take us back to the beginning now.
Well, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate you two guys for having me on the podcast and things of that nature. And we talked about sacrifice. He mentioned sacrifice, and then pivoting. Just to take y'all back from my story, how it started. We're going to start in high school, being a college athlete. Being a college athlete. Being a high school athlete. Being a high school athlete. It was cool. I was really going to high school for basketball to start off, and that didn't work out. And that I figured was God's plan, just to.
Wait. You was going to high school for basketball?
Yeah, I was going to high school for basketball.
So talk about that. Like what the hell?
I didn't know that, bro.
Nobody really knows about that. Christ the King was a big time high school for basketball. I was a midget though. I was a midget. I was 4'11", probably 85 pounds soaking wet.
You were dunking,
okay. Go ahead.
But I was a point guard. Okay. I like to bash the rock. And I didn't make the freshman team. That happens. And just stopped playing basketball.
So you went to Christ the King for his basketball program?
I went there solely to play basketball. I got recruited for football, but I also was there to play basketball. That was what I wanted to do. Basketball was what I wanted to play.
So you're saying you're nice in basketball to this day?
It's been a minute since I played. I can't say I'm still nice, but when I was playing back then, yeah, I was.
So then you didn't make the freshman team in high school, and then that pivoted towards, all right, let me just stick with football.
Yeah, not necessarily that. So I was gonna play for the JV team and try out, hopefully make it, but I had broke my ankle literally 2 weeks before we had tryouts in a football practice. So I just figured that it just wasn't meant to be, and to just stick with football. I ended up doing a little varsity B with my boy Dante and a couple others, and it was fun. We won the championship and stuff of that nature, so that was cool. But football was it. Started doing football. Football was cool. I was so small though, so finding a position was hard for me at first. I didn't like to tackle, and I really just wanted to find a way to be important on the team as far as production, being a leader and things of that nature. It didn't turn out the way I wanted to, and by the graces of God, I was able to get an opportunity to play college. Thank God all the time for that, because I didn't have any film. I think I had about 2 minutes worth of film, maybe less than that.
Mm-hmm. Or at least to me with my journey in football, because I was scrawny in high school too. I'm not the biggest right now, but my journey in football was rocky as hell too. Like you saying you didn't have that much film. I didn't have that much film either. And so we really had to market ourselves in the best way possible and show that we're willing to work hard for what we're trying to do. And we really had to put in the OT, the stuff behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. So I could relate with that, man. Mine's was shaky too. Talking about football, like you said, you was a little scared to tackle in the beginning. What case me?
Not necessarily scared, just didn't want to tackle. I played, not to cut
But,
you off, I played cornerback to start off my football journey, which was in 7th, 8th grade. That was the only position I played. I didn't really play offense like that. So
Yeah.
it's just,
No, I'm not gonna lie. When I first played football, like I was fucking scared, bro. Like, I'll tell you a funny, quick story. Like, all right, so we first get on the field. I'm like, what the fuck did I sign up for? Like, I didn't like street football was fun, but this don't look fun. This looks like oh shit, I'm with the big dogs.
right,
Yeah, my heart was beating. Right, so we're doing warm-ups. I just got my pads. I'm feeling good. I'm like, oh, like it's lit, but I'm like, in deep down, I'm like, oh fuck, like here we go. I'm about to get smacked because I was seeing them practicing, and all you hear is boom, 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 tack every clap,
clack.
click clack, bam. So then we're doing warm-ups, and they're like this. The first time we pass, like boom, boom, they banging that pad, boom, boom. I can hear your heartbeat. You scared? And I was like, in my head, damn right, I'm fucking scared. Hell yeah, I'm fucking scared. Like in my head, I'm like, yeah, I'm scared. So yeah, man. So then with football, and in high school, you train. Why you wanted to play college football? What was your goal with playing football? What was the whole goal of that? Why play football?
The goal in playing football was to hopefully do something with it as far as professional or just being able to play in college. I think everybody, well, for the most part, every kid that plays in high school is looking forward to playing their sport in college, especially if they take it seriously. And that's just something I wanted to do. It's something that I look forward to. I started getting into college football around my junior year, like actually watching it. Became a Florida Gators fan and always fell in love with wanting to play in a college stadium.
So what was the first college you started going off to? So you said you went from high school, you didn't have that much film. So how did you get like recruited? How did you become a football player for these colleges? Like tell us that whole entire story, like from the beginning.
I just got to tell you that you got to invest in yourself. You got to believe in yourself. That's the main thing in this whole situation. Nobody really believed in me as far as, oh, he could be this, he could be that. It was just more so of like, okay, let's let him fill a spot. Let's let him fill this area in the team that we need. I started off at Gannon University. Thank you, Gannon, for the opportunity. I appreciate you. I was a preferred walk-on. That was a nice, calm experience. What happened with that was just when football and school is not meshing, and that's the two things that has me at the situation. And not only that, I was 6 hours away in Erie, PA. PA is I didn't even know it was that big.
Yeah, it's very big. Like we only think of PA as the Poconos, but PA, like there's Western PA too. Like that's like the little tiny piece of PA. We don't like as New Yorkers, typical people like, oh, PA is Pocono like 2 hours away. And like, no, like you could be like 6-7 hours away, like damn near Ohio. Like my first college was in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. That was like a 2-hour drive from Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is hella far. So, you know, I can imagine for you, that was my first college and it was a D3. You was probably homesick.
Yes.
Homesick.
That's one.
And in the school, for student athletes out there, and just for anything, when you go into college and you're a student athlete, you have to make sure that all three is in balance. You can't just go there. I kind of get what you're getting. You can't just go there just strictly for football or just strictly for school per se. You have to make sure it meshes well with all three of those. All three. You see, I said three. So it'll be school, football, or whatever program you're doing, and socially. And if you're just a student, I think you should be in that school for the academic program, and socially it fits you. Because if it don't, it just offsets each other. It just doesn't balance right, and then it's not gonna feel right. So that's what happened in Gannon. Like the academics wasn't the academics aspect of it wasn't meshing, or like the school social aspect of it wasn't meshing.
Right. So the social life at Gannon just wasn't what it should have been for a college period. In my opinion, I feel like all colleges should have some type of social life where it's at least active. Gannon wasn't really all that.
Yeah, and you're from New York, so you need something active.
You understand? You feel me? You get
it's a whole different culture in Western PA. Not many people know, but I'm probably only right now in this state, probably only me and you know, probably cases like, but like in Western PA, it's like, that's like really country. It's not really, it's to me, in my opinion, I could sound whatever, but it's two different cultures. Like New York was so vibrant, we got all these things here, and then you go all the way country, and it's like, whoa, they're not raised up on certain things, and you saying certain slangs, and they're not catching up on it, and it's just like they're not
Who are you?
understanding me. Yeah, they're not understanding me.
No, I feel that.
Right. But what I could say is that meeting new people in different cultures and different slangs I like that. It's an experience. You want to have experiences, especially when you're going away and when you're 6 hours away from home. You want to have an experience that you're going to remember. I remember a lot of people from Ghana. I made a lot of friends from Ghana. So I'm not going to sit there and say that I didn't have any friendships. When you're playing football, you build a bond with a bunch of brothers. And you don't lose that bond, especially when you've been there for 2 years. Blood, sweat, and tears, fighting and bleeding together. So,
I'm sorry to cut you off, but take us through that process. Since you didn't have much film, how did you get into Gannon? I think that was the question that Casey. What was the process? How did you get there? Because it's like you go into a record label, they sign you, and you got like 1 track, 2 tracks.
Yeah. So did they like take a risk? Did you have to say anything?
What's the whole process behind going to Gannon? Tell us the story of how you got into Gannon.
So Gannon was one of the few schools I looked up on this Wikipedia of D2 schools that you can attend. And I hit up about 20 different schools, just to see what I get back. You never know, anybody could use somebody, and I knew I wasn't whack. I knew I could put pain in. So Gannon had wrote me back. I remember like it was yesterday. I told my coach, thank you, coach, for the help. I did most of the work though, but thank you for the help.
I'm weak.
Right. And I was not to be funny, and I was able to get in contact with the coaches, set up a calm little visit, and be able to attend Gannon. And like I said, that situation was what it was because 2 things weren't meshing. The 2 things that were most important in a student-athlete's life is the student and the athlete part. When 2 is not meshing, you can't be there. So I made a manly decision on my own, and I transferred.
And where did you transfer to?
I transferred to LIU Post for a semester. LIU Post. My major, by the way, is criminal justice, just to get that out the way.
How did they reach out to you, LIU Post, or did you reach out to them?
I reached out to them as any player that's leaving the school should do.
And you did the same process. You looked up the Wikipedia of D2 students probably close to home, or you knew of LIU Post?
I knew of LIU Post because it's close to home. I'm from New York. I'm from Brooklyn, and LIU Post is in Long Island.
Right.
So
I know my friend Tremaine played at LIU Post. A lot of people I know played at LIU Post.
And I'm assuming like now you had a lot more film because you were playing with the other college, or no?
So not necessarily game film. I had a lot of practice film.
I'm dead.
And believe it or not, a player, as much as you want to say I'm dead, you got to really think on it. How much film could I really produce if I'm not on the field? What I did was I did a method, something that all kids should try to do in the future. You want to be able to control your own future. What happened was I had a situation at Gannon, and I knew that in the spring, if I was able to get the reps, I could put enough work in and put enough film out and be able to put the film out and get a school's attention.
Yeah, and to be able to market yourself a little bit better.
Right.
You have more stuff in the holster. So you sent LIU that stuff, reached out to them, and how long was you at Gannon though?
2 years.
So 2 years after, so the 2 years was coming up, you reached out to LIU Post, and then what they say, tell us the story at LIU Post.
LIU Post, short and sweet. I went there, I had a tryout. The tryout didn't go well.
Why not?
Misunderstanding between me and the coach, which happens.
What was this misunderstanding?
Can't go into too much detail on that.
Briefly, what was it?
Like long story short.
I had a track tryout. I had a track workout for a football tryout. Let's just say that. I was literally doing track instead of football, which didn't make sense. And that was the misunderstanding that me and the coach had. And that's just what that was. So we fast forward to from that. Let's just say the situation went like this. I emailed him, he emailed me. I go to his office. We speak, he tells me try again. He tells me try out next year. Try out next year. Let's just say we are in January right now. And next year is next January. Imagine the coach tells you to try out again next year. Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah, and I you can have so many emotions running through your body when that situation happens, but so you must think about what you can control. And what I could control is my body, my movements, my actions. Therefore, I told him, thank you for the opportunity, and I moved on. You know, you go back to the room, you mourn, you soak, and honestly, I thought about giving up. I had a friend, thank you, Oscar. He spoke to me. He told me to get up, send your film out, make something happen. And it turned out that I knew a couple people at different schools. You know, sometimes it's who you know, not what you know, what they say. That's the motto, who you know. I know a couple people at a couple different schools, and I was able to connect with Pace. By the graces of God, I'll never forget. I never forget the day I got into Pace. It was amazing. It was a great day. And I get to Pace. A lot of sacrifice, a lot of time spent. Let's just say I spent at least 2 years off from football trying to pave my way to another school to play football. Just to play it.
Was you out of school for 2 years?
Not necessarily, because I had a gap. So you could go to school and not play football. I went to these schools, but I just didn't play.
Yeah.
So I get to Pace, and we're in the spring. And honestly, I didn't really know if I was going to be on the team or not. It was just more so on the school is right there. I'm taking a chance. My bro is there so he could vouch for me. And like I said, I'm always about believing in myself. I'm going to back myself up. I know I could produce if
You
I
had
get
you
an
had a friend.
opportunity.
You had a friend on the team,
Yes, I did.
and what was his name?
Tyler Denayo, that's my dog.
Shout out
Shout out to Ty. Shout out to Shipwreck. Make sure y'all go eat there. It's a good spot on Bedford. Yes, sir. And yes, so I'm at Pace. I speak to the coach. The coach tells me, okay, we have spring ball coming up. We have workouts right now. We need to figure out your eligibility status and things of that nature. My grades were good enough to play on the team. I had a 3.0. Everybody, student athletes, you got to be a student. You can't just be an athlete. So I advise all y'all to do what you need to do in the classroom.
Right. Let me jump on that real quick. That's really important because as I was going through my fanatical with colleges and transferring, I went to 3 schools. The one thing that got me to every school that I applied to before I enrolled in these 3 colleges and when I was transferring was my grades. I had good enough grades that I could pretty much go anywhere. I think the only school that ever denied me was Fordham University. But I applied to so much schools, like 20 plus, probably 30 plus schools, because I was on that same mission as Nell. Like, it's like job applications when you're doing that whole process. Like, you're just sending out your resume, boom, boom, boom. And you know how it is in the job market. Like, it's really hard. Like, for a student athlete or for a guy that doesn't have that much film, it's hard really to get into that, even if you have good film. So, like, it's just like the real world, it all connects. You have to just keep on applying, boom, 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 boom. But the one thing about me is that I had great grades, so I got accepted everywhere, like boom. And then I got academic scholarships, so I was able to cover, so whatever school I went to, it was like I could go, I had choices. And I think that relates to also the job market for people out there. Like, a college degree isn't that important, but I feel like it kind of gives you that like little hump. But if you get like the master's, the more stuff you do, like the more experiences you have, the more it's like, all right, I could bounce from different jobs because I have this, I have that, I have these credentials to my name.
Yes, sir.
Free game. Bow.
Free game.
I was gonna say, so were you looking for a scholarship when you were looking for these like colleges?
Yes, so to fast forward more on that, right? So we talking about scholarships now. Scholarships. Everybody wants a scholarly. Everybody needs a scholarly. I think, well, not everybody. Let's just say that. Some people are financially stable, but if you perform, you should be paid for performing. And I wanted a scholarship because financially I didn't have it and my family wasn't going to be able to produce the money to have it. And when I got to Pace, not only was I worried about whether I was going to be on the team or not, it was also about having the money to pay the tuition, the financial ability
Pace
to
is
pay.
WAP too.
Yeah, it's money. It's a lot of bread. It's a lot of money. And my grades were good, but it's not good enough to pay all of that. It's not possible. So you have financial aid and things of that nature to help you. And you want to hopefully get a scholarship from the coach. And it was a struggle to start off. I ended up on the team. I ended up on the team because of my eligibility of me missing 2 years of football.
So yeah, free 2 years.
I had a free 2 years of football, and I beat the rule of a 4-4-4, which is basically saying you went to 3 different 4 years and you did a full time at those 4 years. And that was my mistake because I didn't know the rule. And everybody has a clock. When you're an athlete, when you start, it's going. So what happened was I was able to be able to play and be eligible because I had 2 years off. There's a 2-year non-participation rule that you all should listen to and go read about if you are in this situation. If you do not participate in football for 2 years, you can bypass any rule.
Nice. That's wow. You see how God just blessed you right there and how
Yes,
everything lined
sir.
up. So boom, you broke that rule. They freed you out the cage.
Feed me out the cage. I remember when I got my pads, it was a beautiful thing.
Heart-
It was a beautiful thing.
You was jumping. You was feeling good. You're like, yes, like this is my time.
It felt like getting a
It
new car. It's
nah,
like,
it just-
it's like I ain't gonna lie. It was amazing. It was definitely amazing. It was
feel
amazing.
Like it feel like the world. Trust me, I've been there when finally, damn, like I got it. Like I got through. Like it's about to click. Like all right, we on go. Like I got through all this miscellaneous stuff. Like let's rock. Let's go. So
So
then
you got the Scully.
Wow, I got the Scully. How you know that?
I'm asking you because I'm assuming.
Did I get the Scully?
I'm asking you.
Let's see. Let's see.
I'm asking you right now.
So he is correct. I did get the Scully, but let's get to how I got the Scully, right? So pace was rocky. Pace was bumpy. To start off, it was very rocky. It was very bumpy, and it was just more so of just learning a new system, learning new plays, being able to be coachable, not arguing, not crying, and being able to perform when you need to perform. And I was able to do that as time went on, and I was able to get my scholarship, which first off, that helps my mom. I think that's the main situation. This is the reason why I'm in college is my mother.
and you didn't have a scholarship with all these other colleges, so you was paying out of pocket.
Out of pocket.
Same,
financial aid and out of pocket.
I was
And
paying out of
financial aid
pocket.
is a blessing though. I will say that.
That walk on journey when you paying out of pocket and no one really gives a shit. Like you paying out of pocket and like you getting jerked around with this football and your dreams of compassion. You're making all these, like we touched about it on the intro, you're making all these sacrifices and just keep getting shitted on. And like you know your worth, but they don't know your worth. And it's just like, damn, if only they recognize it, like give me a little shine. And even when they do give you a little shine, they're just trying to ignore it or budget. And it's like, nah, fuck that. And then you need to find somewhere where they value you and where you put the work and you get acknowledged for it. Sometimes when you put the work and you're not getting acknowledged for it, but you want to get those sacrifices rewarded for it. And they don't.
Right.
No one really knows what you're going through. And I can only imagine what you're going through throughout all this whole journey. Like, was you feel before when you got on this team? Was you feeling alone? What was you feeling throughout this whole process? Like why that relief of like, yes, I did it? Was it because of like, damn, like, you know, like what was the emotions behind it? Really, your whole path of transfer and whatnot. What was Nell going through mentally? Who was there for you? Who picked you up in those tough times?
You always feel like when you're trying to take care of a family that you're doing it on your own, that you don't really need much help. That's how I was growing up. I didn't really think I needed help, or I didn't need anybody to help me take care of my own, take care of my people. But, you know, you have relationships, you have friendships, and those friendships and that relationship that you have is there for you to be your backbone, like how my bro was in that situation at Post, and my situation getting into Pace. So I had somebody, and that's just what it is. And I was never alone. I just felt like I am doing it. I'm doing it
Alone.
You understand? Like,
Yeah, 'cause
they're not
there with you.
They're not there. Yeah, they're not at the school. They're not having to put up with classes and practice and not even know if you're gonna have practice, not even know if you're gonna be able to pay. They're not dealing with that. They don't have to deal with, oh, I might not even be able to stay in my dorm. I've been in crazy situations. I've been in the roughest and toughest situations, and I'm really glad that I am where I am today.
I was gonna say, so like, I'm even gonna punch on some of what you said before, right? So you say you're doing this for your mom, and then doing this for your family, and you know, people don't understand. Like, I think what it's like to pay, I think, out of pocket. You know, just to even hit on that a little bit. I think that's a major struggle. I think that a lot of people go through and don't understand, right? Like, I'm never gonna say like I can compare it to like what you went through in terms of that, right? Because I never had to pay for college out of pocket. You know, I go to Marist College. You know, God bless Marist, a great college. You know what I'm saying? The tuition, hands down, is like 50 to 55 G's, right? And I made a deal with my mom. My mom's like, you bring home bad grades, you paying that debt.
Simple.
And I was like, bet. I'll play that deal with you because I'm not trying to pay that money. And you know, God bless her because, you know, like I said, she kind of never raised me in a way where we were ever like entitled or anything. You know what I'm saying? My mom came from the bottom with food stamps, and like now she's the like HBIC, like head bitch in charge. You know what I'm saying?
That's
so like she
beautiful,
never
bro.
raised me with that mentality a lot of these entitled kids have. And like similar to your experience, I could relate because there was a point where I felt like I wasn't doing a lot in college, and I felt like I was doing really shitty because I was in a program I didn't like. And I felt like at one point I was wasting my mother's money. And, you know, at one point I was just like, I felt bad consciously. So, you know, me being in the Marine Corps, they offered me a deployment at the time to Afghanistan. And I was like, all right, cool. So now I'm gonna go to Afghanistan.
Yes,
So
sir.
like, I'm not gonna say like it was a scapegoat for like me feeling like I was doing nothing, but in a way it really was because I felt like I was just being a normal college kid. I wasn't doing shit. I was not saying I was depressed, but like I was just down in my bag and I felt like I wasn't doing well. I wasn't getting good grades. And at that point, I felt like I was wasting my mom's money. You know what I'm saying? She worked really hard in her life for me to like, you know, do great things, not for me to fuck up.
Exactly.
So now like this experience of me going away and going to Afghanistan humbled the fuck out of me, and it gave me a different point of view on how I look on a lot of things. And, you know, it made me feel like I was doing a lot more with my life because now I have my own money, my own foundation, and I didn't have to really worry about my mom, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't have to worry about what she says. And when I came back, I had a different appreciation for college. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that nowadays, that, you know, a lot of these kids, at least at my college, right? I'm just going to say this like straight out blunt because we're all real here. We're talking real, but a lot of kids always have their college paid for by their parents. But they don't understand like what some of their kids are doing, you know what I'm saying? Like some of these kids really fight for college and fight for good grades and fight to be like better because their family is like the first generation, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be the first person in your family to get that degree.
Success.
And I'm going to be the first person in my family to get that degree. You know what I'm saying? That's my goal. And that's why my mom pushes me to like that level. So when you're saying you're doing it for your family, it's beautiful because I feel like a lot of people don't understand that because the people who have their college paid for straight out of pocket with no, I think, like upbringing of like humanity and struggle.
Right, struggle.
They just, all right, and they take all that shit for granted. And I think it's important to understand that you can't take anything for granted because you never know what someone else is going through. You have to be putting in the same amount of work as someone else is sometimes because you never know. That person who has it easy doesn't know what someone who doesn't have it as easy is putting in.
Yeah.
That person is putting in 1,000 times more effort than that person already has it.
Right.
And it's crazy. And it's just like, they don't understand that. And I think that's what separates me, you, and Ethan at this table, right? All three of us kind of been through like this experience where we've had the struggle and we've been through that. So we know what we're worth. And we're not going to let anyone tell us, hey, otherwise, like, hey, you're worth this. Like, no, fuck you. That's something we know we're worth. We've been through this. You're not going to tell me what I can and can't do.
Simple.
And that's easy. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I think we're all grateful. So now I have a question for you because you were saying you were doing all this, right? So
Yes.
you went through multiple colleges, right? So you went three different colleges,
schools.
right? So I've never met anyone in my life, I think, who's ever, well, I don't really know many people who play a lot of sports, right? But three different colleges sounds like a lot of like sacrifice, time, and money and effort. What was that like that made you keep going through this whole entire like process? Like what made you keep going and said, I'm gonna get this?
What was that? Give me a second.
That's what was that? What was that fire? I mean, I could
Would it
answer that off the
necessarily?
rip.
Can it be multiple things?
Yeah, of course, man. It could be like a
So
whole list of
what I
things.
can say is that, for one, my mom,
God bless
she is a
Mom.
warrior.
She's out here.
I soon get that on me. Don't let that go over your head. Next, I would say myself, just motivation in myself, just seeing what I could do from just the practice film, years past, performing and doing what I do on the field. I always just had some type of faith, like, Darnell, you get that chance, you gonna shine. You get that chance, you're gonna shine. I just never got the chance, and I finally got the chance, and let's see. Hopefully, I shine this year.
So briefly, you like kind of manifested it, and you just kept putting in the work, and you just was like, "Yo, my time's gonna come, and when it comes, I'm just gonna go through the roof with this shit." And then so with this whole pandemic, when I put your football dreams on a hold, per se, but now you're going to camp starts in the fall, or right? August.
So yeah, camp starts in August. I'm not sure the date yet. We definitely have a season. We definitely have a schedule. And look out for number 0.
Yeah, and you said, hold up, number 0. Okay, look out for that. But how did you get this? Did you get a scholarship up here? How did you get it?
Oh yeah, we never told.
So getting the scholarship at Pace, I fought for that scholarship. I legit fought. It was the first time I fought for something in my life. I don't really speak up.
Talk about it.
I don't really speak up on a lot of things because I'm so passive aggressive. And I finally got to speak up for something that I really needed and wanted, and I knew that I deserved it.
Is it full ride or is it partial?
It's not full ride. It's enough. It's a nice amount and it's a great amount. That's
so
all
you're
I can
paying,
tell you. I'm
you're
grateful.
you're paying some amount of pocket, but not as much.
Barely.
All right.
Barely.
So talk about this story. Let's go.
So the story, it's funny. I was driving up to school. I'm driving up to school to go get my stuff to leave Pace. Remember what I just said, to leave Pace. And I go up there, I go into my room, and I get a text from my coach. Says, let's talk. Long story short, me and my coach had a real man-to-man talk because I am not 18 years old, 19 years old. I think I was 21. I was 22 or 21 at the time. I was 21, 22 at the time, so I wasn't just going to take anything he said. I was fighting for something. I actually stood up for something. And we had a great talk, and he had a realization. I had a realization. We bonded over that talk. It's crazy. We really bonded. We are as close as can be. I will tell you that, from being this far apart to being like this.
Definitely got to send
literally
this.
like this.
Yeah, definitely got to send him this video and tag him in it. But go ahead.
But best believe it. Coach Rondo, real one. And like I said, we spoke. And long story short, he got me. He got me. He held me down and gave me the scholarship. And I've been performing ever since, doing what I need to do ever since, upholding exactly what he put his trust into.
What was your plea to get the scholarship? Why does Nell deserve a scholarship? If someone was to ask you that, what have you done to get a scholarship?
We have point systems. We have percentages. My percentages were all great percentages, from assignment to.
What is that like? That's like your grading scale on the football field,
right? That's like if there's 11 plays, you get 1 play right out of 11. Terrible percentage, so it's 10%. You did bad that day. And that's basically what it was. All my percentages were high. My film was immaculate. I put a whole film together, so even if they wanted to say something, I could show them. And the next thing was my grades. And not just that, the connection I had with the players on the field. My team got me that scholarship probably more than anything else besides me speaking up. Seeing my coach, seeing my team, when they saw me, when I first got into the building, how worked up they was to see me, how happy some people was just to see me. How happy I was to see them. That's love. That's something you can't replace. You can't replace love. You can replace material, jerseys, helmets, scoreboards, but you can't replace a person. You can't replace that. You can't replace love. You can't. It's just not. It's hard. It's too hard. And that's what I fought for. That's what I pledged, and I was able to get the scholarship.
And you had a film. How long was it? How long did it take you to get the scholarship? Was it 1 semester you was at Pace, 2 semesters? What was it?
I got to Pace 2018 spring.
You was on the football team.
I got the
spring?
scholarship by 2019.
And you was about to leave.
2019, yeah.
And you was about to leave really prior. But you was playing football from 2018 spring to 2019? Like, yeah, so now obviously, but like.
So now, we
so once you got to, I'm just saying this for clarifying for the viewers. So once you got into Pace, you was trying out for the football team and you made it, or was you on a break and you wasn't eligible yet for the football team? Because remember, they had to clear you out first? Or was it during that semester?
So when I got there, I got to Pace 2018 in the spring. I played. We have a spring football season.
Okay.
I became eligible because of the 2-year participation rule. And it was just, it's funny. All right, so I didn't really get to elaborate on that to tell you the dates. March, we start Pace spring ball March 20.
Somewhere in the March, yeah, you started.
Listen, no, it's this close. The dates are literally split. I finished playing spring football at Gannon in March 22nd. We started football at Pace March 26th. So it makes 2 years once you get to the March 26th. So I was
Damn, that's like right
basically right. So basically, I just made it in time for spring ball because if I didn't get to play spring ball, I wasn't gonna play on the team.
And then
No point.
you don't even know where the fuck you would have been right now.
Yeah, I didn't really even know. I would be at school, or I would probably be
No, you
graduated.
just, you would have
doing
not
what I
known.
need to
Be a
do.
normal student, bro.
Yeah.
I know.
And then you got cleared, and then you played you did spring football.
Yes.
And then and then camp, was you balling out in camp too?
Yeah.
And then you plead, and then boom. So then it worked out.
Listen, Nate, look, I was balling. Y'all know. Check the film, man. Check the film. I was balling. I ain't gonna lie. Check the film.
Definitely send us your film so we can
Got
post
you.
it, as little clips and to show people, who Nell is on that football field.
Yes, sir.
Definitely,
Yes, sir, for
definitely
sure.
send it to me.
I was gonna say, even going forward, so you went to Pace, right?
Mm-hmm.
You did everything. So now you're living this dream, right? You made it, right? You made it to this spot in your life where you fought for such a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Say you get that big shot and that big chance. What are you gonna do with that chance?
I'm gonna conquer. I'm gonna triumph. I'm gonna do what I need to do to succeed. That is why I still play to hopefully get the opportunity. And then it doesn't have to be the NFL. Honestly, it could be any league that's gonna pay me. Just probably not.
I got a big question for you. I got a big question for you. So now I know you from Instagram. We connected off Instagram, off just people we know of fitness. You knew, Isaiah. You know Isaiah Washington,
That's
obviously.
my dog.
And then I think I saw Stacks tag you and stuff, and I think probably that's how I got familiar with you. And I'm like, yo, who's this guy that Stacks is tagging in? And Stacks was tagging me in the same video that you was tagged in. So Nell's training. I'm like, oh, he's like Brooklyn trainer, young cat. He went to Pace. My friend, aka we played football together. Mike Masood. He went to Pace and he went to Pace and played there as well. So that's how I knew. And many people I knew went to Pace. I'm familiar with football, college football. I'm familiar with the whole university.
Who you know.
So I know Pace University. You know, Omar played there. Some kid named Omar played there. This was before you was there. So when I saw, I'm like, yo, who is this kid? Nell's training. Before I knew you, I was like, oh, he played football. But then I saw you just start doing this fitness. What led you to become a personal trainer? Why you want to do it? And what is your main goal? What are you trying to do with your life? What do you feel is your purpose?
Well, it's not necessarily why I want to do it. I am doing it. Nell's training. Yeah, I can all tap
Yeah,
into that.
obviously you are doing it. You are doing it.
I see.
Right.
You are doing it, but what's your why behind training? Because to just be, I'm gonna get it out there. You can't just be a coach, just be like, oh, I'm a training. Like I like working out, I'm doing it now. I'm not cutting it here. Why the fuck do you want to be a trainer? Because I have deep passion for the fitness game. What is your reason for going to training? Because there's a lot of cats out here that's just like,
Yeah, like how'd you even get into
yeah,
that?
hold on.
Like, what was that
Yeah,
pivot?
because what was that transmission? Because there's a lot of dudes that play football that just like, yeah, I'm gonna just be a trainer and just doing it because they just
Because they play football.
because
Because they was fit.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I want to know a deeper reason behind that. If you really are cut, I'm not trying to come at you. If you really are cut for this fitness life, like why go into the fitness game? Why Nell's training? And what's your biggest purpose? What are you trying to get at with life? What's your main goal? What are you getting at?
Well, just to answer your question, my main purpose to me, we all have a purpose on this planet, right? We're all here to leave the place better than we found it. And my purpose simply was to help others. That's it. To help others. I love to help others. Anybody.
Yeah, you love to put a smile on their face.
Like I love smiling.
Yeah.
Smiling is contagious. Look. They all smile, right? You see that, right? We all smiling, right? Beautiful thing. And so with wanting to help others and wanting to be an entrepreneur and seeing my brothers become training as well, because you get influenced by others and seeing them
By the
train. And
people you're around.
not only that, I had a trainer, mentor, who took me under the wing at LIU Pulse, which is a collateral beauty to everything, right? There's a brighter side to everything. From messing up at Pulse, I met somebody who helped me advance my body and become a greater player. So those were the two things that led me to that led me to want to be a trainer. And when you want to help somebody get to a certain goal that they want to achieve, and it's going to better their lifestyle, better their confidence, and have them looking immaculate.
Spicy.
Right, right. why not want to do that? They say that the greatest way to achieve happiness is to help somebody else, to do something for somebody else, right? And that's what I love doing. Like I don't want to spend money on myself. I want to spend money on others. I don't want to help just myself be fit and active and, and do this and that. I want to see you do it too. If I'm doing it, I want you to do it too. Because if you could do it, I just helped you do something that I did that I probably didn't think I could do before, and now I got you doing it. You didn't think you could do it before,
and now you got
it's a
that
beautiful
imprint.
thing.
You got that imprint on them forever.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you just got to think. Yes, you say you hit it on the nail. There's gonna be trainers. I feel like that's in every field though. There's gonna be people who are fakers who are just doing it because they want to make money, because they think it could. I don't care about the money. You can ask any client that I take in.
What do you care?
I care about getting you to your goal. I care about seeing you happy. I care about you in the workout, going through it and saying, no, I'm good, and keep pushing through when I actually do an extra rep. That's what I want to see. The money's going to come in due time. That is going to happen because it is my profession. But I want to help you. That is my main purpose in training, not just physical, but mental as well.
Yeah, man, I even mentioned that in like another episode, bro. Like, we had a guy also on this episode, on one of our episodes named Trey, and he was talking a lot about how when he was a trainer, he was giving back to the youth. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And it also goes back to like what you were saying, and I think that's also like I'm gonna say this again, right? Mm-hmm. But I think that's the most important thing that a lot of people don't understand nowadays is like the world. It's a dark and scary place, man, and honestly, if you can help someone out and give back to the people, giving back is number one for me. But if you can give back to people, man, it's the best thing you could possibly do. Because, like I said this in last time too. But like, if these kids can replace us, bro, and they can do bigger and better things than us when we're gone, then we succeeded, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they building a better earth, a better planet for the rest of us, and hopefully we could plant that seed into all these other people to live a better life and a better lifestyle.
Word up. Nell, I got another question for you.
Yes, sir.
Let me just gather this. So, obviously, you're chasing when you're playing collegiate football, you want to chase for the highest. If the NFL comes in the trial, or if you try out, you're going to give football everything you got until it's done, until you can't control it no more. Yes, right? Sir. Control what you can, and et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. So you're going to keep on going to the legs fall off, whatever. So you can't go. But what is the other goal you got in mind? Besides football, what else is that? Yeah. What else is there that you're chasing? With Nell's training, with the entrepreneurship, I heard you say something about controlling your future. I got a little question on that. How can you control your future if we don't know what tomorrow holds?
I have a motto: be better than yesterday. Yeah, so I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna know what tomorrow holds, but I could promise you that I will be better than yesterday. Tomorrow will be better than today. The next day I'll be better than that day, and that's how I'll keep living life. I can't say I could control everything that happens, but when I wake up, I'll know what I'm doing for the day. Yeah. I can promise you that.
So what's the plan with this whole Nell's Trainer entrepreneurship? Okay. Because you're a big believer on, I want to control myself and what I'm doing, but yet again, you can't control everything, right?
Right. So you can't control everything, but with entrepreneurship, it's really all about the hustle. It's really all about
I'm just throwing a little curveball. I'm just throwing a little curveball.
It's just so it's all about the hustle. It's all about what you want to do, right? It's all about waking up and getting to it. And I was fortunate to be a part of two businesses, and I have a clothing business as well as my training.
Okay, so what's your clothing business?
My clothing business is Embrace, as you can see. We got hoodies. We also have windbreakers and things of that nature. Embrace New York.
Who you started it with, and why you started a clothing brand?
I started it with 3 other brothers. They are college friends. You meet your closest friends at college, they say, and we were able to come together, make a brand, and hopefully flourish. It is doing well right now. As I said, you can follow it, Embrace New York, on IG.
And why Embrace? It's gonna sound real cheesy, but why Embrace?
I want to know.
I feel like I kind of know, but I want the people to
I want to know why Embrace, but why the clothing brand? Because I want to know the deeper reason behind it. What are you trying to do with it?
All right, so Embrace is a name that we came up with, and there's a deeper concept to that. I would love to get into, I just can't get into at the moment, right? So what we have Embrace, we started off with BFO, Blue Faces Only, and we switched it to Embrace. Just
Big time blue faces though.
Right,
Heard you,
right.
okay?
Yeah.
right. It was
Okay.
catchy, it was calm, but
If
we
you
know,
get it, you get it. If you know, you know. If you don't, you need to get your money up, not your funny up.
simple, straight like that. And so we migrated to a different name, which is Embrace. And clothing. For me, just to, because I'm not gonna speak for everybody, I'm not gonna speak for the whole crew, but in my sense, with clothing, I'm not gonna say I'm a fashion type of guy, but I'm into looking good and things of that nature. I'm into marketing as well and things of that nature. So we all have our parts in the actual business, things that we have strengths in. And I'm also into building Black Wall Street.
Heard you.
Building the different businesses. I want to have different businesses. I want to be able to wake up and not have to think about, oh, I have to be into work today because my boss is going to be worried about me. I'm going to get fired. No, I am going to be the boss.
You want to diversify. I mean, you can relate with what we're trying to do and trying to become our own boss and pave our own path. Because we've been trying to do it for a long time. We've been a walk-on, and we're trying to please their needs. These people needs this, that, and the fourth. And it's like, we don't got nothing set in stone for ourselves. We're chasing other things. We're trying to fulfill their standards, their principles. When, you know what? Fuck that. Like, I'm the standard. I'm the principle. I'm going to put that rule in. I'm going to set the tone for myself. Enough of someone else setting the tone for me when I know my tone and it's higher than theirs. Like, I'm better than what they're trying to put me at. So you know what? I'm going to go out there and just do stuff for me. I think that's what thrived my passion and especially yours and how we could relate, because we got thrown in the back end. And it's like, nah, bro, like, fuck that. You ain't controlling where I can be, what I can do, da-da-da. Let me try to control what I can. Let me
Right.
control at least my life and what I'm doing and my worth per se. And let me put my worth up there and strive for it as much as I can. Because enough of these cats, you know, shout out to, there's a bunch of good people out there. Enough of these cats are people that think they're higher than me. Yeah, you're a coach, but bro, when you put me out there, my actions are going to just speak for itself and my aura just speaks for it. And you're just not really seeing that, maybe because you're just not on my level.
Right.
And it's just time for me to just establish myself. I don't want to be under anyone like that no more. You could be under a good leader. Like, I'm all about following the right people. But it's about when you're trying to follow someone and they're just not really getting you and they just like throwing you like a little dog and not really respecting you. It's like, yo, what the fuck? Nah, that's not gonna happen. That's not going on. I don't fuck with that at all. So with the whole clothing brand, I respect it, and I kind of get what you're coming from, and probably I'm just putting the pieces together for you because you're trying to do shit for you now. And that's what you've been doing. Now finally a coach has understood you, you pled for it, you showed him your worth, and you had the evidence to be like, yeah, this is what I'm worth now.
To back it up.
To back it up. No more of me talking with this barely film. Like, you're not gonna cut short me anymore. You're not gonna short me no more. This is what it is, and let's rock with it. Let's rock with it. If not, I'm gonna head out of here because I got things to do. There's money on the line and there's time on the line, and I've been through too much to go back. So fuck that. Ain't no going back. We only going up.
Yo, so there's this quote, bro, that just completely reminded me of this episode. But I'm not gonna hold you that this quote dead ass blew my mind, bro. And it says, "Every person has two lives. The second one starts when you realize you only have one."
Yeah,
And I
I've been
was
seeing
like,
that.
Wow.
fuck. That shit
That's
fucked
different.
me up, bro. And I was like, yo,
That actually makes sense.
that's
though.
insane. And I feel like a lot of people, like I said, when it comes to your story, you know, I feel like you've been through so much, and right, you've been through so much sacrifice, and you made all these turns and pivots and changing directions and all these rears, and you know what I'm saying, like it's crazy, bro, like to hear like all the amount of twists and turns you went through, and like you kind of like paved your own path, and you kind of had this image in your head this whole entire time, like, yo, I'm gonna do this shit, I'm gonna do it my way, I'm gonna do it right. And I'm doing this shit not just for me, but for my family. And I'm gonna make sure I get that shit. And the fact that now you made it to that point and you made all this sacrifice, I think that's something that a lot of people should be able to take in because, bro, like I said, anyone can do it if you really put your mind to it, man. That's all it is nowadays. Nowadays, you have to be willing to work hard, sacrifice your time, sacrifice everything you want sacrifice the things that you do to have the things that you want. And that's just how we live our life nowadays, man. It's just crazy.
Now, how do you balance the clothing the training on your own, the training for football, and your own social life, right? Answer that first. And then the second thing is what advice can you give others out there for those that are similar in your shoes? And what can you tell the viewers out there just in general?
All right, so balancing, right? We all about a balance. You have to have a balance. Having to juggle training for myself, training clients, schoolwork,
Your social life.
my social life.
How do you do that, man?
What I could tell you is that my social life used to be more spectacular back in high school. When I got to college, I spent a lot of time in the house. You don't spend no money. You don't waste any type of time when you're in the crib. You're able to think about different things, gain knowledge, look over different stuff and things of that nature, and stay safe, because outside at some point it's just too much going on. Somebody's always doing too much. And, right. So with that being said, can you elaborate one more time again?
How do you
That was
balance?
a lot for me. I was like,
Yeah. Elaborate one more time.
Oh no. So how do you balance those three? Like, how do you balance your clothing brand?
You set a schedule. You have sorry to cut you off. You set a schedule. You have an agenda. Like I said, be better than yesterday, right? I have a whiteboard. I put down all my tasks that I'm doing for the day. Either I'm putting down the times or when I have to get them done, or I'm checking them off to know that they're done. If they're all not done, I know I didn't do what I need to do. I was not better than yesterday. And
Do you stay 100% disciplined or do you slack for the most part?
I feel like at some point you don't slack, but you take a little time to yourself because, like you said, I'm balancing all these things. I need to have time for myself to gain my mental back to be able to give these people a full darn now. You understand?
Yeah.
So
can't get too comfortable. Bro.
yeah.
Can't get too
At some point, I have to sit back and go, all right. Get back to it.
How do you recalibrate? How do you reset when you need it? Throughout all this madness, how do you find time for you? By just finding time for you?
Like I said, being in the crib, being inside. I have my own room, so I live and I be to myself. I don't have to deal with people. Everybody has their pleasures and what they do, and I'm able to do that in my home and relax in my home.
So your home's like, all right, so when it's time to like, all right, wait, I need to just quick breathe. You just go into your room, you little zen, close the door to yourself.
Let me tell you, let's do some Janae Aiko.
I'm fucking weak.
And if you think I'm lying,
you got
I'm
it.
very serious, okay? She is very soothing. I have all her albums. I listen to all her songs, especially going to sleep. She helps me get through a lot. So that is definitely a big one.
So, like, for people that are listening, like, what is some advice you can give to, like, the people who are listening who are in your shoes or who can potentially be in your shoes? Like, what's just some advice you give in general for everything you've been through to give to the people?
Also, you know what? What's Nell's message? At the end of the day, what's your message? What do you want people
To remember you
for? And when they go on your Instagram from this thing, what the case may be, or after this interview, what is Nell about? What's Nell? Who is he?
So you can do the advice first, and then what's your message? 'Cause, like, you were looking like,
You see, I'm thinking about both.
He's
Like,
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
combine. Combine
That's
two
fine.
right
You
now.
can do one,
So
yeah.
the advice to somebody else would be, or to everybody, to the viewers would be, never give up on yourself. And try to use every resource you can. Every resource, because like I said, it's not always what you know. To be the biggest brainiac and things of that nature, sometimes it's really who you know. So gather all your resources and never give up on yourself. If you keep believing in yourself, you will be where you want to be and where you need to be, successful and happy.
And that's your message right there. And just to recalibrate on that, a lot of people throughout my football journey helped me because I knew them and I had a good relationship through them. When shout out to my brother Glover, like he put me on through his school because I knew him. He knew his coaches were opening up the recruiting, whatever case. And he was like, yo, was open to recruiting, like get in touch with them. I won't put your name in there, but you got to talk to them. They'll get your name in through the door and then you just got to put the work in the back end. But I'm never afraid of putting the work in through the back end as well. Like as long as you just give me a little booster.
You gonna get right in?
Yeah, I'm going to get right. And I'm going to just do my part.
Little foot in the door. Just a little foot in the door.
I'm going to do my part. And it's, of course, also, it's not, but again, you got to be educated in anything that you're doing.
course,
You know what I'm
must know.
saying? Just like he didn't really know about that 4 whatever the
The
eligibility.
4-4-4 rule
Yeah.
and the 2-year
That's- you
non-participation.
gotta-
That's all through the coaches. They helped me with that.
Yeah,
Thank
exactly.
God.
But if they didn't,
Word.
how would have Nell would have known that? He would have, how would you
You'd be in
know?
a whole
You would-
different spot
It would
right
have.
now,
It would have been maybe if they would have held that back for you. They would have been like, "Nah, you're not." But if you had that education for yourself, you knew the rules. So I would say try to educate yourself as much as possible with whatever it is that you're chasing. And from what I'm gathering from Nell's story and my own story out there, just have a vision in your head. Truly believe in yourself, because already people out there are gonna doubt you. They're doubting you right off the rip. They don't want to see you win. I'm sorry. It's kind of like in America, it's like a dog-eat-dog environment. And the odds are already against you. Yeah, we're in a great country, what the case may be, but the odds are already against you once you step
Black
outside your
American.
door.
Yeah, man.
You know, people,
Black
only a few really care about you. You'll be lucky if you have 1 or 2 people that deep down care about you. So make sure you care about yourself, you believe in yourself, say fuck the opposition, fuck what they thinking, carry that aggression, and go for what you want. And that's what Nell is a true symbol of, and just believing in himself, but he's showing that through love. I could be a little bit, but he's doing it. He's just doing it. He's just, loving life and smiling, and he knows that, the higher power has a great plan for him, and that everything's going to align in his favor somehow, some way.
Yeah.
And it already is, because if you tune into the story, you've been taking notes, everything truly happened for a reason. Because if it was one day before, they probably could have judged him and said, "Nah, I'm sorry, man. Nah, I'm sorry," what the case may be. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Or
sir.
or if you went in a year earlier, you probably would be like, "Damn, it's over."
So,
Nobody cares about
Yeah.
your career more than yourself. Bro.
never.
But thank you, Nell, for coming. I think we hit everything on the needle. I want to see you strive. I want to see you grow. You have brothers now in the deep end with you. Thank you for coming.
Facts.
Yes, I appreciate y'all.
Thank you for
Appreciate
coming.
y'all.
Thank you for coming to Brothers in the Deep End and sharing, some parts of your story, because your story is just getting
Just
started.
getting started. And I
I
hope
say
to-
that all the time. This is just getting started. So thank you for being a part of our foundation. And like I said, I appreciate you. And it's crazy how we met. Just energy don't lie. We said that before. I met him through Instagram, and just the vibes and energy, we just click. It's just crazy how things just align, like you said. And shout out to the viewers, shout out to everyone out there for tuning in and supporting. Please like, subscribe.
Thank you.
Give us feedback.
Thank
Shout
you.
outs to CNC.
And
man.
Nell, do you
Embrace.
got anything else to say before we close
Right, I
out?
got a couple shout outs to make to the black-owned businesses.
Go.
So we got Buyers Clothing. Make sure you tap into that. We got CNC here on the head. Y'all see that. Embrace. We have 7 Clo. We have Brothers in the Deep End podcast. Tap into that as well. Shout outs to them for having me on here. Thank you so much. Y'all appreciate it. Shout outs to Casey. Tap into his tunes. Make sure y'all go tap into my boy. He gets to it. And shout out to everybody that's going to tune in.
Thank you. One love, you heard?
Love. Nah, y'all special.